There are a lot of ways to do that. One of the most important ways is to learn the outward rules of it very well and to adhere to them in the same way that you would when you first learn to drive. When you first learn to drive, it's very troublesome because you're so, conscious of the rules, especially if you have the teacher next to you. But at a certain point, it all just becomes, it's just what you do. So initially, being obsessed with the rules is problematic because you're so focused on the rules, you can't really focus on the spirit of the prayer. But that's a necessary stage of prayer. So learning the rules really well until they really become second nature. And then you begin to work on your spiritual presence in the prayer. And part of that has to do with the amount of dhikr that you do during the day. And that's why the more dhikr you do, the better your prayer. And also wudu is very important. Sidi Ahmed Zarruq said, your presence in your wudu determines your presence in the prayer. And one of the things that people do is they do wudu very hastily and very ritualistically so that their wudu is no longer an act of worship. And one of the best things that I ever was exposed to was watching Muratt al-Hajj do wudu, because it really hit home the first time I saw it. It is a deep act of worship, wudu. And we tend to forget that. Wudu is actually part of prayer. It's a very deep act of worship. So being present in wudu, not doing wudu in a bathroom is really important too. Not doing it where the toilet is. Doing it in a place that's... there's other things. There's one of the things Sidi Ahmed Zarruq says, saying before you start your prayer, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَٰهِ النَّاسِ, before you actually go into the prayer, just to remove the waswasa and get out of that. The prayer is one of the proofs of Iblis, because right when you do takbir, sometimes the weirdest things why did that suddenly come into my mind? That is that component that's working. It's very interesting. Literally, you do takbir and tasawwuf is one of the words that's used to describe the science of ihsan. It's the inner fiqh. You have an outer fiqh and you have an inner fiqh. So that's all it is. It's an inner fiqh.